some of them were being fugazis, but whatever. Like we've got, some of these things are going. So like, if you're tired of kind of trading in these ranges and stuff like that, in the, in the general indexes, and if you're having a little bit of trouble, then, probably moving on to some of these kind of more PR plays will do you good. I was talking to one of the students yesterday. There were pockets of strength yesterday, in a lot of these names that had some type of news or upgrades out there. And, when you're like trading in, you're trading a little bit frustrated because, the indexes themselves are moving around. Just stay away from like index specific plays. You can go towards, things that have some type of catalyst out there. And at least that way you don't have to sit there and watch the cues for like every 2 seconds to get this thing going. Let's take a look and see if any of these little small bombs are worth the shit. So like, you can see something like this ADN was like $20. These type of things are just getting pushed around all over the place. Like, look at this thing. Jeffries, like these fucking people are probably hacks, but raise the price target from 4 to 11, blah, blah, blah. This is the type of thing, like when the market gets nasty and like people need to make some money, the pumpers will come out in full force on something like this. You can play this kind of shit, not my particular flavor, but you can see like a red box warrants. I don't even know what that means. Hey, this Saidu had some news out yesterday. Saidu Space joins Raytheon unit team for NASA. I mean, this is probably a big fuck nothing burger too, because like, you'll never know like how much of their end is on this, but this is the type of flavor like that can at least get pushing. With the markets crashing down, usually these small caps like get dusted, but we've seen like a slight change in the PR plays the last, I would say 2-3 weeks, where you are seeing on an everyday basis something like this actually start pushing through. And it's kind of started with this Eric, and this had a lot of heat on it too. So these are kind of things that are ignoring the markets. Eric is probably playable for me. These $2 ones are like really like a real big jerk. But I'd add these. If they pull, you never know. Like we might be able to have a little bit of fun on them. Red cock, similar kind of thing. So like, right, you got breakout pullback. Now this thing will probably be a 0 and or a 1 or 2 in no time. But like, these are the things that are going right now. So just kind of be mindful of them. You can play. I mean, you can play all this shit if you want. Right, like this Chimera is another one that's like breaking over the previous day's highs. And you can see here you've got kind of a level that has been hanging out for the last 2 days, like this kind of 4 zone. So you're pulling back to it, but if that starts to hold off at the open, like I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that go. These China Bear ETFs, these things are rolling over too. Hey, so this ERC, I was hoping for a red to green on this, but you can already see it's already done that. This had a pretty big run on it. Like, I mean, you went 15 to 25. Even though it's like up a lot, like, you haven't really seen any signs of slowing. I will say that usually after like a big day on this, it does have like a 1 or 2 rest days, big day, a rest day. So, we may get a rest day, but this is probably worth a gander too, if you're interested in kind of staying away from market specific type of plays. See this like direct SOX direction. This is like at a key level here. So what does that tell you, right? Like that, you've got a flat top breakout in the SOX 6. So that's telling you, right, that this SMH is about to get its butt cracked, and you're seeing that it looks pretty similar to the QQQs. So, overall, like if you're playing these little guys, that's fine. On the large cap side, right, this is going to be a big day. Tomorrow is Bank of Japan, and I believe it's quad witching tomorrow. It's a big OPEX tomorrow. I believe it's quad witching tomorrow. So tomorrow, I was expecting the market to tank tomorrow anyways, but maybe more of an inside day today. But we're back on, with the crash ats even today. We'll have to see if this level holds, and then we're gonna have to fucking play around with this. Let's take a look and just see if there's any other earnings plays that are worth a gander here. And I wouldn't say earnings plays, right? These are just PR plays. Chunk, 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 chunk. All right, well, let's take a look now, like, right, at some of these large cap names that we'll probably end up having to chase down today. So you got NVIDIA over here, right? You've got a breakdown, pull back into the 9 in or a roll over here. So it looks very, very similar, right, to the QQQs. AMD has a big, big level here. I mean, this is probably, at least in terms of location, you know, slightly better if you're looking for, like, if you're more into breakdowns. You've got a very easy location over here, which makes sense, right? Because that SOC 6 is basically doing, that's like your short semiconductors, right? It's showing the opposite, right? So like this thing will probably, right, bust through today. This is a 3x ETF, so you do tend to get good range. You know, if you want to, like, if you're trading out of your IRAs, 401ks, like, you know, bullshit like that, which, you know, I often do. By the way, like, you know, E-Trade does give you like a small bit of margin, even on your IRAs. If you ever want to get loose in those things. But this is like a good location over here. You know, you can't chase it up 8%, but that's what's telling you probably this AMD is going to be busted down. And even AMD, you don't want to chase this down 2%, but we'll see like kind of what's going on over here. We don't necessarily know if, right, like the market's just going to follow through. We'll have to see. You know, like what if this is like just a double bottom and then a fake out, right? We don't know. We have no evidence of that, but right, in a perfect world, like we can dream like that. Let's take a look. Yeah, UPSD's got a similar look. So if you look here, right, the bottom on this could fall off like real fast. You know, you have just a real tight location over here. I would keep an alert at like maybe about 33-ish. Right? And you can bust under there. Now, remember, like a level is just a level, right? What you need to do is still have some type of price pattern that matches around key levels. You know, those are the ones that work the best, meaning like you can have like a great pattern, but if you're still not properly trading around the supply and demand levels, then, you know, your trades end up getting, you know, bamboozled a little bit, or like you may get fugazis, like, you know, you think you have this hot pattern, but if you do it at the wrong spot in the supply demand levels, then, you know, like you may be doing that pattern near a bounce spot. So you think it's a short, but it's not a short, right? And so now all of a sudden, like you get, you know, fucked. So this 33 is like probably a good spot. We've got like a little bit of a kind of bear flag breakdown over here. And once we get into that now, once we're under that and we hold, then you can start doing all the patterns you want. You know, you could take a preemptive strike, of course, at 33, you know, like pre-ORB, pre-quick pullback buy just based on the level. But that tends to be a little bit of a quicker trade, like you're going maybe more of a scalpy McGee. And then from there, sorry, I forgot. I did all my serums today, but I forgot to do the moisturizers. You know, that's just not acceptable. So I think this is going to be a good spot. UPST level 33. Put an alert there. We get this thing going. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay. I do also like Bitcoin's dumping off here, and SQ as a level here, right at about 60, 59 and some change. I think we go in hot on that one too. So you got UPST, SQ, like we want these ones that have these levels around them, right? AMD, similar kind of thing. You know, this is a little bit farther away from the level, but we're getting into like that sweet spot, right? Where we're very close. I would say it's, you know, more 86 than 85, right? So you got test. And we know these things can just dump off like really, really fast. So we got AMD level, SQ level, UPST level, all right? Ooh, yeah. Let's go have ourselves some fucking fun here. Let's go have ourselves some fun. If we need to try some longs, right, we want to basically try to stick with some of these PR plays. You know, we got Redbox and Saidu and what was the other one? We got Redbox, Saidu. No. You can do ADN. The odds of me taking any of these are probably really small. I don't think we really need to trade these little guys. But we did take a couple ganders on ARC yesterday, and it was kind of fun. They get your tinglies going. You know, sometimes you just want to have a little fun. Never trade too much size in these little guys. You know, in your head, you're probably thinking like, well, if I had like 10,000 shares of this, you know, my small account will be a big account. But on the other side, like it rarely ever works out that way because nobody ever holds for the whole move. But when these knives come and the dumps come and the fugazis come on them, right, you do hold for the whole move on the way down. So typically how it works is like, you know, when you have gains, you're like scaling out. It's like, oh, I'm up 5% on this. I'm going to sell some. Oh, I'm up a few more percent. I'm going to sell some. I'm up a few more percent. I'm going to sell some. So you're scaling out on the way up like you're supposed to. But right when things dump, you just lose the 10%, the 20%, or whatever, 30%, all in one fell swoop. So, you know, you're piecing out on the way up, like a couple small percentages, essentially. But then when the knife comes, you're going to lose 10% regardless. You almost have to just account for that. So then, like, it's really hard to kind of get ahead if you have too much style on this. Let's take a look at Kroger mispricement. How you doing? Gainesville's finest. Kroger. Hey, so you're right. And you know what? You should be playing these news plays. You do good on those. Watch around this 200-day moving average. Like, this is the thing, like with patterns, right? Like if you take a pattern here, you got the 200-day moving average right on, you know, right under it. So then the pattern won't work as well. What you really need to do is get that thing real close to here, right? So then you start to see the intraday pattern, right? Like doing a little bit of a marination station. And then like now all of a sudden it looks a lot better, right? So you want to just be a little bit careful of the location. And then I think you'll be okay. Better than okay, double okay. Let me see if there's any good. Let's see what other companies got earnings out today. Calendar. Kroger, PPG, CNYC, YI, Adobe. I think that's after the market close. Yeah, this is really the only. This is the only one. So I think. Yeah. Let's get into it. I think you can do it. EBIT. Damn, what a blast from the past. You know what? This is probably a meltdown. I don't know what the news is on this thing. Let's take a look. Well, you know, this one, like we can't chase it in the hole, but it's probably something. You know, look at this. The trend line goes back like fucking years. Probably if it squeezes up, you might get a fizzle on it. I don't know if that's a priority. Chunk. These are all ETFs. One thing we will want to, keep an eye on. Hey, by the way, this U has a level here too. The liquidity is not so good in the mornings, but it does get there by the end of the day. So, just something to be a little bit mindful of. It does enough. You got a level here at 33.50 and some change. This is another one. I'd set an alert right around here, 33.50. You get that thing going over there. You should be good. 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 Well, fucking, we got our list here. What do we think? What are we thinking? What you guys seeing? Anybody got any questions? Hey, Gavin, what's going on? Hey, Jokey Josie, what I mean by levels, right? Like, some level of support, resistance, a line in the sand. A lot of times if you can narrow down your trading into lines in the sand to trade around, then your results will give you a lot better than if you're like kind of trading like inside a range, for example. Then like all of a sudden what happens is like, good plays often will peter out because you don't have like certain levels to go around. Jose, you got me, buddy. You got me. Oh, the Hindenburg's on the EBIX. I got you. Fuck. You know what? I used to have fucking text alerts for their shit, but some of their stuff has not been so good. Let's take a look at oil here. Oil's on some support. We need to see like how the rising of the interest rates is going to impact oil in terms of demand destruction on this. If we lose the 20, we may bleed down because, the one thing oil hasn't had is really like a big fucking flush day. Maybe it comes back into the 50. We don't know, but it could have, very well even bounce off these levels. We are seeing like a little bit of a pop in natural gas. Actually, 5% is a pretty big deal. So we do have a mixed bag there with oil down, natural gas up. We'll see how that kind of impacts things. The big thing today is like, with the gap down in the market, you really have to either wait for a pop at the open, or you take it through 275, 274, but it has to be quick because that's the spot where you get the fugazis too. What I mean by the fugazis is right where you break under and then you rip back over. It's a 50-50 shot. We've seen it a lot of times where if it breaks under, like it's just a waterfall cascading effect. But we've also seen like now with the algos coming in, those areas, sometimes they whip it back through to the upside and try to bounce the market. And so that's why if you take it just straight up, if it breaks through, it's got to be a very, very quick trade with tight stop because we have to be aware of the fugazi. If it starts to hold down there, right, for say 10, 15, 20 minutes, then we know like, okay, that's the area that's going to start the waterfall effect. And now we want to be short city for probably the rest of the day. Guys, this is going to be some fucking entertainment today. That's for sure, especially with OPEX tomorrow. And, Bank of Japan also has got their interest rate thing tomorrow. Japan's already fucked because like basically they have a peg that they can't even get up, that they can't even get past. Like they theoretically, like, I think it's like 0.25 or 0.3%. They can't let their rates even get above. Otherwise, right, the defaults start to happen on all sorts of stuff. So we have to be a little bit careful. You're starting to see it like in Europe, right? Where like, because they use the euro. And so a lot of their like low interest rates have been subsidized by Germany, but like, like Italy and some of the other countries are in much worse shape. They have to, like the Germans got like crazy inflation. They need to raise the rates. But if they do, they'll bankrupt the Italians. And so now there's going to be a little bit of a little bit of sword fighting going on. Guys, I'll be in the chat room. Let's go have some fun. Let's try to make this a few hours today of fun. As you know, this is going to be, well, we're going to have some good old-fashioned God-fearing Christian fun today. Last 2 weeks have been pretty clean, so let's make sure we don't have to press it too much today. And we'll see like what's going on. And by the way, stay away from all low liquidity plays. You don't need any of this stuff that's like doing barely like any volume. I would go with like stuff that only does on average 10 to 15 million shares or more per day. Otherwise, it's not even going to be, it's going to be a big, you'll have liquidity. I think today people will have liquidity problems. If the market dusts off today, the liquidity will be tight. Even if there's a lot of volume, the liquidity will be tight because it'll be mostly all fucking sellers. And so, you got all sellers, the liquidity will still be tight. So we got to be a little bit careful today. I think we're going to have some fun. And you know what? We've got a pretty good read on these things anyways. As always, the open is a little bit of a guesstimate. So we got to trade quick. We got to trade probably half size today for the first 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll come in after.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Chill out,
I'm
Siri.
having trouble hearing you.
Let's fucking do this, guys. You know what we got?